knows?
That's what I'm saying. That's why there was a boom in organised crime. You know, they saw, you know, it's something to sell in their market.
Yeah, that's why though. That's the thing about the black market is a lot of the things that are on the black market really should be legal, and the reason that they aren't is because the people who are behind the black market trading are the same people who are behind the government who makes the laws.
Yeah.
You see, it's like the drug war, you know.
Yeah. You can look at Naples. In Naples, there's an organised crime group, you know, a mafia group called Camorra. And what they did is they took over government, they took over local government, and they made a series of laws around rubbish disposal.
Yeah.
Right? And that meant that suddenly there became a black market. Suddenly they could make money from disposing of it illegally because it was hard to do it legally. Right? And they passed these laws. They created the situation which allowed them to benefit financially from the laws that were there. That's just an example of, you know, how you can, you know, the absurdity of some of the laws surrounding some of these things on the black market, you know, that you can just create. I could just create a black market right now, you know, in fridges, in shoes, and anything, you know. You just need to pass a law, and then suddenly it becomes worth 20 times as much.
Exactly. That's like with heroin. Heroin was legal, you know, until what was it, 1910s or something? They used to sell heroin in pharmacies as a medicine.
Opium was smoked casually.
The customers kept coming back, Craig.
Things, yeah. And now it's, you know, denounced because it's associated with, you know, those people.
And Craig, where does the heroin come from? That's the question.
Exactly. Well, what I'm saying is a surplus of heroin production. Where does that stay? Where does that go? You know.
Exactly.
I do think the DEA are complicit in, you know, in the trade because that trade cannot exist without some level of cooperation from law enforcement.
Yeah.
You
know? But this is what they do, Craig. This is why they need people in the enforcement sector who are basically in on the same scam, who can then go and shut down your competitors as well, just to make it even more of a monopoly than it already was. You know, like when they seize all this cocaine, you know. I mean, I don't actually know what goes on when they seize it. Where does it go? It probably still finds its way out of the market just with someone else selling it, don't you think? Oh, I can't hear you very well, Craig. Are you?
Yeah, hello.
I can hear you, kind of. It's just you keep shorting out again.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm
right.
out a few seconds ago, but not for very long.
It's all right. I can hear you now. I was going to say, Craig, where does the heroin comes from in the end? It comes from poppies, and where do they grow poppies? They grow poppies in Afghanistan. And who ran Afghanistan in 1999 and 2000? It was the Taliban. And what did the Taliban say? They said that growing poppies was un-Islamic, and they set about eradicating poppy growth. And for one year in 2000, I think it was 2000, there was actually no poppies grown in Helmand province at all. No poppies.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a record low of opium output in Afghanistan. And then what happened in 2001? Well, we've got to go into Afghanistan because we have to fight the Taliban and the drug trade. Like as if the Taliban weren't doing a pretty good job fighting the drug trade. I mean, I don't support cracking down on people for growing poppies, you understand? But if you want to stop the drugs, surely the best thing to do would be to leave the Taliban in power.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, they attempt to offer them an alternative to poppies, which is like things like corn and wheat and all these things. But I mean, the market for wheat is just completely stagnant, you know.
Why grow wheat when you can grow heroin?
Exactly, and make 5 times, 10 times as much. It's just not a feasible thing.
And of course, who's now guarding the opium fields? Oh, we are, as a relations thing with the Taliban. I mean, a relations thing with the people. Sorry, yeah. To get them to support us, we pay them. we pay them not to grow poppies, right? But then they just take the money and grow the poppies anyway.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's part of our that's part of our public relations thing with the people of Afghanistan. It helps us fight the drug trade, Craig.
Yeah. It's crazy. Oh.
Oh man! And then I always love it when there are the pictures, you know, of where they show AP soldiers inspect a poppy field, you know, like if,
Oh, yeah.
if they're really against the drug trade, why don't they shut it down? Why are they just there to inspect? Yeah.
Well, apparently, the talks between the Lib Dems and the Tories are still going on.
Are they? Oh man.
Yeah. I think they're gonna. I mean, I don't really know what's going to happen, but I can see. I mean, there's not very much common ground between them two parties, really. I can really see Gordon Brown putting on. I mean, as much as I do really dislike him, he doesn't have. He's not half a limpet, is he? You know. Yeah.
So, who are you talking about there, Craig? Sorry.
The Liberal Democrats apparently they're going to negotiating with David Cameron to form. I think it's it will be a minority government or Lib Con coalition.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't see them forming a coalition with Labour, Craig, because it'll be like, we're propping up old Gordon over there.
Yeah, I suppose. I memean, Israel's got its own coalition now as well. You know, Israel to take on Hamas has created a coalition government. You know, it's kind of a war coalition. We had one in 1940, sorry, to take on war.
Well, there's no time for giving people the illusion they can select leaders, Craig, during a time of war.
Yeah.
It's very important that we have one person deciding everything. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, part of the argument for nationalising industry is that, you know, how can one person own an oil field, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I own this, and all the billions that come with it. I mean, of course that can happen, you know? Apparently we've struck oil in the Falklands again. Or they're not again now.
Oh, man.
And suddenly, Kenny's are interested in that again now.
The Malvinas, Craig. That's what they are. They're not the Falklands. Don't lie.
Oh, dear.
It's what they call it, isn't it? The Algies. They call
it. Yeah. Malvinas, sorry.
They will always be Argentinian, Craig. Even though, like, all the people who live there are British.
British, yeah. Well, we took it off them in, like, the 1600s or something. I can't remember what time it was, but we took it off. And,
well, I think, Craig, that there should be some justice. I think that the British colonialists should give the islands back to the Spanish colonialists who had it originally.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, no.
It was uninhabited, wasn't it? Or I don't actually know. I may have had some.
I don't know, really. It might have been. Though, if there were people living on Easter Island, I think there were people probably living on the Falklands. But they were probably kind of brown people, Craig, so they'll have just been killed or moved away. Exactly.
I can really see that happen. They just end up dead. Just something, because that tends to happen, you know.
That does tend to happen. But if they strike oil there, though, that means all of a sudden it matters more now. It's like when they found oil in Scotland, you know. And all of a sudden, Scottish independence. Yes, we are.
Yeah. Aberdeen became one of the, you know, centres of culture, you know, in Europe. Aberdeen. Yeah. Up until that point, it was just nothing. It was nowhere. It wasn't even on the radar of anywhere.
Would you describe Aberdeen as a centre of culture, Craig?
Not now. A lot of oil has been discovered since then, isn't it? You know, Dubai, yeah. That place in the desert that just popped up, you know, from nothing. The Vegas of the Middle East.
Oh, man.
You know? God.
I think of Dubai as more like Babel.
Yeah.